Taxis waiting down on the street, so hurry up, I have to go. Looking round, you see other people making faces very cold. Carry me away, far from the circles that never breaks. Hey, hey, hey. Going home, where this road goes I already know, where everybody cares for one another, and they take you as their sister. Ayo, 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 where the children run around, they're slapping.
Sculpture is a branch of visual art. It's an artistic expression of situations, issues, happenings, and events. Sculpture is used to depict mood, actions, and recount experience. Sculptural process traditionally uses carving, which is the removal of material and modeling, which means the addition of materials such as clay, stone, metal, ceramics, wood, and other materials. But the era of modernization has brought a shift in the process, which has led to an almost complete freedom of materials and process. Tracing back history, sculpture is said to have been in existence since the ancient traditional Greece, and is widely seen as a method of producing creative masterpieces in the classical period. During this period, Gothic was the most popular form of sculpture. It is used to represent the agonies and passions of the Christian faith. Sculpture has been central in religion devotion in many cultures, and until recent centuries, large sculptures that are too expensive for private individuals to create were usually expressions for religion or politics. Those cultures whose sculpture have survived in quantities include the cultures of the ancient Mediterranean, India, and China, as well as many in South America and in Africa.
He's laughing in the crowd. I hope it still remains the same. Ayo, 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 ayo. Well, there's something in the song that makes you feel at home, and that's what's calling out my name. Ayo.
Yeah, I'm Makuju Adile Pam, popularly known as Make. I'm a sculptor. I've gone through my professional training from Yaba College of Technology in the 80s. I went to University of Benin and I read sculpture. I went to University of Ibadan to do African artistry. Currently I teach sculpture at the HND level, that's higher national diploma level, and artistry at ND and HND level. As a sculptor, I have different works in different backgrounds, Lagos, Ibadan, London, and different places. And I've been able to produce a lot of students who are sculptors, renowned sculptors today. Over the years, I've been a lecturer since 1987 in Ibadan Poly. To date, I've been in the business of lecturing students, and it has been a good experience working with young adults to make them very, very productive. Like I said, sculpture is usually not an all-comers affair. If you have a class of 100 of artists, sculptors come within the first 10. For you to be a sculptor or a sculpture student, you need to be good in light drawing within the first 10 students. Painters comes within the first 20, and then graphics within the first 60. Textile and ceramics can take the rest. However, it is possible for somebody who is within the first 10 to decide he's going to be a painter. But you cannot have somebody who is within the last 60 coming to be a sculptor, because in sculpture you solve the problem in 3 dimensions, basically from all the 4 sides. In painting you can see escape. If you cannot get a foreshortening, that is, if something is facing you directly, you can't get, you can put a profile view, a side view. But in sculpture you have to sort it out all over, from all the sides, And that's why when you see people who are not trained as sculptors, you see their work, it looks as if it's a painting. The face will run into the work, like the MKO that you have in Ojota. When you look at it from the side, you see that it's flat. Okay? Because the person that produced it is not well trained as a sculptor. He has a photograph, a two-dimensional photograph, and he worked on it. The resemblance is there, but by the time you go to the side, you find that it looks like a monkey, because the head, or what I call Homo sapien, okay, the work is projected into the sculpture. But when you are trained as a sculptor, you walk round, you solve the problem from all the four sides. So it's tedious, it is time consuming, and it means you have to be proactive. That's why painters or sculptors can work in other areas of art. You see, most sculptors can paint, they can also work in textile, they can produce graphic work, ceramics. But you cannot see people from other areas delving into sculpture because of this peculiarity. Here we train students, and we take them through the long method to start with, so that we can make sure they understand the nitty-gritty of art, which is you model in clay where things can be corrected, and then once it's perfected, you now move to the next stage of casting. You use the material to do your cast. Virtually all the works here are clay, model, casted, negative, and positive to produce them, except for one or two. And when you see it, you know the difference. The dexterity in terms of anatomy, in terms of composition, would not be there when it's direct method. One of such is that antelope there. You'll see one or two faults in the anatomy. Even though you can break it up, just like carving, you can break it up, the level of finesse is not there. But we have to take them through all these methods so that they can understand what it is. In the sculptural garden here, you have cement work, you have metal construction, you have some fiberglass.
Well, this road goes, I already know, where everybody cares for one another, and they take you as
A perfect reflective sculpture work is that of Akindolu Akinshola, the graduate of Art and Industrial Design, Lagos Polytechnic. The sculpture work explains the corporal punishment suffered by an innocent citizen. In his work, he described injustice, maltreatment, inequality, and tyranny.
That particular student has an Okada he used to ride to school, and one day the Okada was taken from him by a policeman, brutally taken, and he came down and was weeping. Okay, and we now started developing the idea. Okay, why don't you have your project? Record it for history.
But these words will never ever wait for you. The world has gone past times of fighting. So drop your guns and your swords and let us live all as one. We all need love and understanding. So drop your guns and your swords and let us live all as one. Oh. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-dee. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-dee. I'll be waiting. Oh, I'll be. Oh, every nation across the ocean is more than just a goddess. We all need one another. Houses getting smaller the way up. Mothers
my HND project. This is the maquette in sculpture, in art, either painting, graphics, sculpture. We need to do small of the work. In sculpture we call it maquette, while in painting they call it miniature. In graphics they call it dummy. So this is small of my project, which is called maquette. So we need to do this one so that our supervisor will. These are supervisors that we can handle the work very well, and it is on this one to do all the correction. Okay, maybe this one is not right. You need to do it like this. So it is on this one they will do the correction. So that's the essence of doing this one. This is the main project. This is the big one, the main one. And the project is all about Lagos traffic law that ban Okada applying highway and major roads. So this is the final one. Okada policeman that arrests Okada man, and the Okada man don't want policeman to carry the bike. To interpret the thing is according to the action that okay, I won't allow you to take my bike, either you kill me. So that's all about the based on Lagos traffic culture. And I use like this to create this tire. I use pipe to form the engine. I use many other iron to form the engine. I use fan blades for ceiling fan. As you can see, this is the blade for ceiling fan. This also is the blade to control the seat, this mud guard. This engine, I use AC compressor to construct this one. This is the outer part, this is the engine inside. I use oil filter, and this for generator. Those are the material I use. It's metal work. Like close to 6 months to do the project. It's because of school assignments, and I have projects that I did for my supervisor then, 3 big projects. So that's one of the reasons that delayed the work. Normally within a month I supposed to finish everything, but because of school assignments, other things, that's why I spent like 6 months doing it.
Have some fun while you're still young and still okay. Cause life is short, do what you can today. Why can't you be happy?
So that work for prosperity, one, it records events and it shows you some feelings. If you look at the Facebook, people have commented on that work because it was on the Facebook, and all the way to Tanzania and different places, people were talking about police brutality. That work will whip up a lot of sentiment in you, more than people coming to tell you, oh, a policeman has taken my Okada, and in the process he hit me with the baton and things like that. But looking at that work, it's going to hit you with a lot of vivid imagination, and that's what art is all about.
While you're still young, let's feel okay. Cause life is short, do what you can today. Why can't you be happy?
project based on the core sculpture. So the title of the project is sculpture. So people ask me why I indulge myself in doing this thing as my this sculpture as my indie project. The reason is that if you can see among Nigerians now, if you can see in football, most of the past footballers like Ashidi Ekini and all those stuff, or Kanu Wanko, they indulge themselves, they put their effort on discourse football more than anything else. But if you can see right now, the youth of nowadays do not indulge themselves in sporting activities. They do most time indulge themselves in social networking, like all those Facebook, Twitter, and playing around with clubbing, all those stuff. So I did this project to put more effort in all youth that they should indulge themselves in sporting activities around the nation, even though bringing Nigeria up as a nation so that other countries will see that Nigeria is not just a country, but so that it's a more powerful and understanding country among the continent. So the aims and objectives why I did this is to enhance the moral on youth. This is sculpture. You need to see the forms and the twisting of the work. So as the work is right now, the twisting of the work is contraposed to, because it's leaning on one leg and the other leg is almost out of the ground. So when it's leaning on the leg, that is, the movement is called contraposed to, because on the side of the work, it won't be on a just rigid side. It will twist to one side. It can be left or it can be right. So that is why I did, and that's my motive of doing this sculpture.
What is life about? Did nobody tell you? The reason why I ask, I can see you're so confused. Oh, you worry much about the things you can't see. You have it all with your money, you still complain. Why not live this life while you're still young and feel okay? Cause life is short, do what you can, do it today. Why can't we be happy?
My name is Sulaimon Adewale. We share the two sculptures. On the sculpture, we share the two final year project. So now this one is composition. It's under modeling. What do you call it? The process is we have so many processes that we are using. We have metal, we have modeling. But this one is modeling now. The process is just 4 days sketch. After the sketch, they will approve it, maybe it's okay or not. After the approval of the sketch, we start from the amateur. After they started from the amateur is the iron. It's like a skeletal bone in the body. So we start from the amateur. The amateur, after you after the armature, you now pad the armature. After the padding the armature, what you use to pad the armature is wood. Paper, we can use paper, we can use wood. There's so many things we can use. But what I use is I use wood to pad my armature now. After the padding the armature, I wet my clay. After wetting the clay, I started putting the clay together. So now, after you put your clay together, the supervisor will be there and tell you, okay, this clay is not right, it's not. This is my mark point. I first did my mark point. This is smaller job of this one. You first do the mark point. After the mark point, you move down to the bigger size. You not transfer it. But in the mark point, they detect some error. They said it's not too close in this one. So now to the other one. I've been in this work for 3 months now because of some correction. So this one is not there. Okay, this hand is supposed to be like this. The other one. So now I'll be in this work now for the modeling alone at least 3 months.
Yeah, this is the strength. Final year HND strength project. It's a 2-figure composition in sculpture called Sculpture in the Round. Sculpture is a 3-dimensional art, and it has to do with 2 types basically. You have the relief sculpture and you have the sculpture in the round. Under relief sculpture you have interglow and sculpture and relief that can go a little bit down. Okay. This is sculpture in the round. The post is called contrapposto, contrasting posture. Okay. And what we mean sculpture in the round is that the sculpture will take you around the walk by itself. Unlike what you see in painting, that is just a one face thing. As you're looking at this sculpture, you want to see what is happening at the back. Before you know what is happening, you see another interesting object on the other side that you want to see, and that takes you around the sculpture unknowingly. Okay. The method the student has applied, is called model and cast method for his project. As a trainer or a training student, you have to start with the clay work. You model in clay, then you now create a negative cast, which is what he's trying to do. You're supposed to make use of plaster of Paris, which will set within a short while. Unfortunately, plaster of Paris is expensive. It has gone beyond the reach of the common sculptor. So we adopt cement. So what he's doing now is making use of raw cement called glue to create to capture the image of the sculpture into the reverse of the mold. It's taking a mold right now. After taking the mold, once it's dry, cement takes about 48 hours to set, 36 hours precisely, but you will not be able to remove the mold until it's about 36 hours. So once you get the mold out, you now charge the negative, making out the positive. You make use of separator, that's oil. Any form of oil will serve as separator, and then you cast the positive. That's just the process in a nutshell.
We see them, they talk about their conquests, the many battles fought in the trenches for your rights. If you ask for evidence, now what you go see. And
I'll be seeing this work from the clay work. This is the final stage now. Now, hold the hand just to pattern it. The final final work, the final thing they want to do is brown. Very brown they want to use for everything.
They talk about the conquests, the many battles fought in the trenches for your rights. If you ask for evidence, now what you go see, and many honor.
My name is Joseph. This is my MD project. As you can see, I titled it Broken Melody due to the drum. Because the drum is restored already. That is why I titled it Broken Melody. And the reason why I titled it Broken Melody is that nowadays youth, they think that drummer, those that drum, they're not a person, and drumming is not a lucrative job. But the process that guides it as follows. The aims and objective why this broken melody is made is to document the drumming go-go drum, which is the yard in Yoruba language. That is the aim. The objective is to document the visual sculptural piece of yard, and it gives us courage and to reawake our culture, to remember that, oh, this is our culture, because Yoruba, we use this talking drum as we use it in many different occasions, maybe in storytelling. In palace, they use it in palace, because in olden days, whenever you reach palace, you meet the drummer at the entrance of the palace. That will drum, you tell the Oba that, okay, so person is around. Maybe the Oba wants the person to come in or not. But nowadays, it's no more, because we have left our culture behind.
Children, you will learn and you must never forget. The past is...
The challenges of art, like I said, has to do with so many things. Parental influence. I remember when I wanted to go to the university. For about 4 years, my mother did not allow me to read art. She wanted me to be a civil engineer. And each time he fills the form, it has to be civil engineering. And I wasn't too keen. I did JAM, and I was to go to University of Nigeria in Nsukka. And I met with somebody, an artist, Labidi Fakeye. He had a work in Undo, and he advised me that if you want to be a proper artist, go to Laspotech. By the time I got to Laspotech, that's Laspotech College of Technology, with my Jim Poly art, and I saw what they were producing there, I knew I had a long way to go. So by the time I went to Nsukka, I was offered admission there, and I got there and I saw what they were doing. Incidentally, Uli has not been known like this. That's the style you have in Nsukka mostly. I had to run back to Laspotech. In fact, to convince my mother that, look, I could survive as an artist, I had to do a portrait for her. So when I was coming back home after the first semester, she thought I was in Nsukka. Meanwhile, I was in Laspotech. So by the time I was coming back home, I had to do a portrait for her. So I gave her the portrait. She was so happy. She loved it so much. And I said, Mommy, if I have gone to so place, I won't produce this. So she now had to agree with me. Even though at the end of the day, she still made sure I went to the uni. That's what took me to the University of Benin after Laspotech. And you need what you call tenacity. There are no shortcuts. it's cumbersome, it's time-consuming, and it's not something you can move around. If you're a painter or a graphic designer or a textile designer, you can put your easel at the back of the car, go away, direct to somewhere, and you continue painting there. But in sculpture, because of the heaviness and everything, you have to be in the studio. When I was in Unibank, we were called Obateni Masu. We have a room allocation, but we are never there because we burn the night in the studio. And up to night has affected me. There's no way I can sleep before 1 o'clock any day. I'm used to it. Even when I had nothing doing, there's no light, you see me just parabolating around the house until about 12 minimum before I can sleep. So these are some of the inhibitions. Also because of the nature of our country, where things are not mechanized. You carry a lot of weight. It's not something girls can really come into. There's a dearth of female in sculpture. Okay. I think in the whole of this sculptural garden, I think only one work has been produced by a girl. Okay. The ventilation has a very small figure. That's beneath dancing. It was produced by a girl, a female. Yeah. It takes a lot of coming in and out from virtually all of us because we need to prove a case. So that's one of the inhibitions you have. Then religion, and then myth. You see people talking of the sculpture having life, or at night some of them have seen some pastors saying so many things that witchcraft will go into the sculpture and do some things there, which I know. I am concerned as a sculptor. I have never been fetish with any of the sculptures, and there's none of them, at least to the best of my knowledge, that has anything inanimate there. But the society has associated sculpture with traditional art because one, you have to be rich. Sculpture is not something everybody can come into. You need some money to produce the materials, to buy your materials and produce the work. Okay? So these are some of the inhibitions you have.
All locked in and ready for takeoff, so I can fly away. House is getting smaller the way up. In my heart a sunny day, dreaming of me on stage. 5 years of age and I'm not afraid. Hey, going home. Well, this road goes, I already know, where everybody cares for one another, and they take you as their brother. Ayo, 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 ayo. Where the children run around, there's laughing in the crowd. I hope it still remains the same. Ayo, 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 ayo. Where there's something in the song that makes you feel at home, and that's what's calling out my name. Ayo.